Welcome to Between Both Cheeks, the podcast where we talk business, beauty, and butts. We'll be stripping down the aesthetics industry, whether you're here for spicy beauty tips, savvy business advice, or just a little banter. We've got you covered from front to back. So pull up a cheek and get ready to discover what happens between both cheeks.
Hola! Welcome to another episode of Between Both Cheeks. I have a very special guest, my roomie from Ohio. We have Delia joining us from Sugar Loft, Dallas. And she's our latest and greatest Bryght Babe. So welcome to the bright side.
Yay, I'm so excited. I'm Delia from Dallas, Texas, and am owner of Sugar Loft Dallas. And yes, I'm so excited to be a part of Bryght.
So tell us how you first came across Bryght.
So I went to a trade show 2 years ago here in Dallas. It was ICES, and I had been asked about like brightening treatments. And my initial thought about it was just, I wasn't really interested in adding on a service that I was going to have to send people home and then bring them back a few days later and, do like a chemical peel. So I kind of was looking for something exactly what Bryght is. I was looking for something that I could combine in the same treatment. And that way, I could like maximize the appointment instead of, like wasting like more, not wasting, but just like taking more time. And then they were also all natural. So it just really came hand in hand with my sugaring hair removal service, which is what I'm mostly known for. It's the most popular service. Like I said, it just an all natural brightening with the organic hair removal just came together like bread and butter. And since introducing it, my clients love it. I've seen great results. It truly does brighten 1 to 3 shades each session, and you can immediately tell. I love how it hydrates the skin, and it just adds a luxe feel to the appointment.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. I love that. And this was a couple years ago, right? That you found us and
Yes.
brought it on. So it's been a couple years. I remember you from a couple years ago, like you stood out. And now here we are 2 years later that you're on the bright side as a Bryght trainer and a traveling Bryght Babe. So what was that like for you getting that call from Aaron?
So, it was so exciting, honestly, to be remembered, especially by you. And of course, Barbie, who also put in her word. And she actually reached out first before Aaron. So she was like, hey, just letting you know, I sent over your info to Aaron, and she's, head of that department. And so I was like, okay. So I was just like excited. I was like, okay, well, what could it be? I did not think that it would be this opportunity. So whenever I heard, and then specifically for the show that we went to, SugarCon, I was super excited because, of course, SugarCon was the first show of its kind.
Yeah.
Of course, because I'm a sugarist, I already knew all about it. I just didn't have plans to attend, and the universe just has its way
Hmm.
to put things in line for me, and I truly believe that I was meant to be there, and I was there on behalf of Bryght. It was super, super exciting.
And you killed it.
Yes,
You
we
did
killed
so
it.
well. You did so well. So this show was a little bit different, and shout out to SugarCon because it was their first show and they did a really good job. They did a very, very good job. These are hard things to put together. I had a great time. I think it was highly successful. One thing that I actually did mention was everyone was kind. And sometimes at these shows, you don't get kind all the time, especially with Bryght, because we're controversial and everyone always has to have something to say about us. Every single interaction was kind, which I thought was incredible. Um, But the show was very different for us because we usually do like massive shows where we've got like, 10, 14, 16, 20 people. We have like a whole room block for the hotel. But Delia and I actually stayed together in the same room. So that's why this podcast is called Sleeping with the Boss. Yes, that's clickbait. That was her idea.
Yes.
And my flight was delayed by 7 hours. So, do you want to dive into what that was like?
Oh my God. So I will say that things were racing through my head. I was like, oh my God, worst case, what if she doesn't make it?
I didn't
I was
even
like,
think about.
what if I have to pull this all together by myself? And I feel like I actually work pretty well under pressure. So I was like, you know what? It's okay. Like, I'm sure at some point she's gonna show up. If I have to do it by myself, like, I'll do it.
Wild.
And it's funny because you were like, messaging me and you were like, this is crazy. And I was just trying to like tell you like, it's okay. We'll figure it out. And all the way up until like the fact that you were only going to sleep like a couple of hours. I was like, it's okay. It's okay. We're going to do it. We're going to make it happen. I just knew one way or the other, we just both had that in us.
Yeah. Yeah. I just want to say that I'm so impressed with you. I don't know if I already told you, I told everyone else on my team. But yeah, I was keeping in touch with her and I was saying like, okay, like this is the update. This is the update. I'm going to get in at like 2:30 a.m. I'm going to try not to be super loud when I come in, but I have to like plug in all the electronics to charge for like an hour and a half so we can like go to the show. And this show is also very different because setup was the same day as the show and we had a presentation. So that's a lot. I'm still trying to recover from it. I am exhausted. I've not caught up on my sleep. I don't know if you have. But I got in, plugged everything in. And as I was like coming in, you woke up with your beautiful satin, what do you call it? Your bonnet.
My bonnet.
Yes. And you turn on the lights and you're like, okay, the packages are organized. They're ready to go. I went downstairs. They're all in order. You were actually sending me videos and photos of it. You ordered us an Uber. Like everything was handled. I was like, wow, this girl. And that is our team at Bryght. Like everyone does everything. And people are surprised that like I share a room with my team or that I'm at the shows that I'm setting up. Like everyone does everything. We're a small team. We might look very big on the outside, but we're a small team and we're a hardworking team. And as much as people want to join the Bryght side and they want to be part of the festivities for what they see online, this is a real deal. Like Delia will tell you, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And it's sometimes off the cuff where you just have to wing it. I mean, look at what she's saying is that she was going to have to possibly do the presentation by herself. This was her first time with us. Could you have like the pressure? But
Yes.
I mean, I think we killed it. We got set up in time. We were able to order Einstein's bagels, right? So we had a little bit of breakfast. Our class sold out in 4 minutes of posting, which I knew that it was sold out, but I didn't know that it sold out that quickly. They gave us that information when we were there. And then we did an open form class. And that was like every seat was taken.
Great.
People were waiting on the side. We were, doing our thing. And we were busy. Like we were actually talking about that. We didn't even have time to pee. Like we didn't pee all day.
Seriously, the second day, we did not until like we were done. And I didn't realize it until I took a second and I'm like, we literally did not take a potty break at all.
No, this happens. This is like real life. Like I feel like I stopped drinking water at the shows, which is the worst thing to do because you have to be completely
Probably.
hydrated. But listen, another thing about Delia was we were leaving. I'd ordered an Uber. I was like, hey, he's going to be here in like 7 minutes. She's like, I'm just going to run to the washroom really quick. Like waiting. I'm like, okay, the Uber is here. My 5-star rating is going to go down. What the heck is happening? She comes running out. She's like, oh my God, I was selling Bryght in the bathroom. I'm so sorry. Like you were just on, girl. I was so impressed with you.
Yeah, I feel like I just anybody that I would run into, I'm like, they just stop by our booth, like come to our booth. And then they already knew who we were. So they had like a couple questions. And I'm like, yeah, just, like stop at the booth. And, I'd literally be like on my way into the restroom. And then I'm like, oh my God, like this doesn't stop. But it was great. You actually came to get me and you
Oh,
caught me in the middle of it. I was like, yeah, I'm actually telling her about Bryght. And I think that was already the end of the show, right? Because we were
hmm.
leaving. But I wanted to go back just to touch base, like on how you're saying how our team is like, it comes well very like together, and how, you're complimenting me on like how I kind of like was on top of it. I wanted to add, I want to say it takes, like a boss babe to like know that there's like things that you need to like plan for. And I think that's also why it comes together really well for your team, because you are selective with who you have. And these girls all have businesses, so they're all already bosses. And so we already kind of have that initiative, uh, you know, to do these things. So I actually love that a lot. And I think that that's why it's so successful, as far as like the teamwork and stuff, because yeah, like we already kind of know what it takes.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that. And my best example of that was I had an employee, this was like a couple of years ago. I had an employee that took vacation during a show, which is a no. Like those are blackout dates. But she took vacation and she was not flexible in changing her vacation. I mean, long story short, it was not approved and she decided to go anyways. I was in full panic mode because even at that time, we were even smaller than we are now. So I was like now carrying the weight of everything, and it was a larger show. And I'll never forget Shonda, who's one of our Bryght Babes in Texas, um, said, like, I'm coming to the show. And she sat me down and she was like, I wasn't going to do this show. But as soon as I found out that this person wasn't going to be there, she was like, I knew instantly that you needed me to be here. I literally well up with tears because you guys just know, because you have your own business and that brings such a different element to the entire team, right? Now, with that being said, there's also a lot of opinions that come with that, because I have hired very strong, opinionated, loud business bitches, like boss babes. I'm telling you, everyone's got an opinion. Everyone, has a free place to talk. So, there is some of that where we have to kind of reel it in sometimes, because the opinions are, they are what they are,
Yeah.
right? Everyone's going to talk. Everyone's going to, have a say in something. But overall, it's the best decision I've ever made doing it this way. And it's crazy because so many people at the beginning told me that this would never work. And I mean, Shonda was she was, I think, our second Bryght Babe, and she's still with us. Heather, our very first Bryght Babe, still with us. Like, that speaks such volumes too, right?
Yes, yes. Yeah. And like I know we had our SWAT where we were going through the checklist of things that we thought we could improve. And like I told you already, I feel like any feedback that I have, like I think it's to strengthen Bryght. But of course, you're
100%.
you're the last say, so you're the boss. You're the heifer. So the last decision is up to you, but of course, with that in mind, it's not to like drag Bryght down at all, or to like it's just to uplift Bryght, to
But
make
Delia,
it
tell
better.
us what SWAT is. And did you know what SWAT was before I told you we were doing it?
No, and this is actually something that I love, that I thought I need to bring this on to my own team here in Dallas. But so SWAT basically is the form that you send us at every show. And this is just reflect back on some things that we can improve. Um, so it stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunity, and threats. So, we went through it and we caught, well, of course, we want to praise ourselves. That's first things first,
Mm-hmm.
especially after a show, because it's a lot of work, like you say. It looks very fun, and it is, but it's definitely a lot of work that goes into it. Um, You have fun though. I'm still kind of going down on my SugarCon blues.
See, it's
Um,
a thing. It's a thing. I was talking to Martha about it. She's like, "Oh my God, I feel depressed." And then she saw a video that you and I were doing, and she's like, she sent me a message. She's like, "I'm a little bit jealous. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit jealous."
oh,
Yeah.
oh, it's okay. We all have to take turns then.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, although I would have loved to meet her and have her there, I definitely look forward to meeting all the Bright Babes for like our future shows. Um, I'm so excited to like film our reels and like all of the content. I'm constantly looking for ideas because I know that it's coming, eventually we'll all be together.
Yeah.
Um, but yes, so going back to SWAT, just like even weaknesses, because every show has its ups and downs. And although we don't let that stop us, we just keep it moving, keep it going. There is some things that, are forgotten or that are just lost in transition. And I've heard of this since, the first show where I met you, where we had and you had a whole podcast on it. That's how I kind of know about it, where am I allowed to say the
Yeah.
hotel? I'm like, where Omni
Yeah.
Hotel lost your body wash launch,
Launch.
and so you weren't able to have it here at the Dallas show. So, I've been knowing that like things get lost in transition. So, yeah. And then for opportunities, of course, like anything that we notice that could improve or like, maybe something better, which, it happens. We come across it, some things. And of course, threats, just like things that go wrong,
Outside threats
outside
is
of,
things that you can't control. So
Mhm.
an example of that would be like if you had a competitor at the show, you can't control that, but that would be like an outside threat. Or if there was like issues with like internet at the show and you had to use it at the show, or if there was like weather issues, or like a threat was my flight being delayed 7 hours,
Mhm.
right? Like something like that. So that's threats are something that you can't control. Opportunities are things that you can control that you can make better.
Mhm. Yes. Thank you for clarifying that because you clarified that to me too. I forgot.
No, I think it's important, right? Because a lot of people will
Yes.
write opportunities in threats and they're not. Those are
Mm-hmm.
outside factors you can't control.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yes, yes.
threats, SWAT, and that's it. So that's SWAT. And I love that because you guys can use that in your business. You can use that
Mm-hmm.
in your relationships. What are the
Mm-hmm.
strengths,
Yeah.
weaknesses, opportunities, and threats in your relationships? But I love sharing that. That's something that I did in corporate all the time. And that has carried me through my entire career as an entrepreneur, which I love. So if you can practice SWAT, please do. It's very important. And then what we do
Yes.
with that information is that we review it when we're doing the same show or a like show. So I'll review this now for, I have to think about where I'm going this weekend, South Carolina, because I'm not even unpacked from my last trip. um, so we'll use this information for South Carolina to make that show even better. And you just improve, improve, improve. Because if you don't write this stuff down and you don't review it, you don't grow.
Yeah, I
You
agree.
forget, right? We have so much that goes on in our minds on a day-to-day basis. There's so much information that's given to us. You got to go back, you got to review it, you got to write it down.
Yeah, that's actually one of the things that I learned just from being your roomie, from
Mm-hmm.
sleeping with the boss. I kid you not, on my flight back, I was basically journaling. I'm like, let me put everything down. Let me write down everything that I'm going to do moving forward, because now I'm coming back to reality. Now I'm coming back to my business. So I was writing down everything I needed to do and kind of just doing my own SWOT, like in general, like what do I need? And yeah, just now I'm having to transition back to focusing, but I'm still, doing things for Bryght because I love the brand. I love your story. I love everything. I feel like that time that I spent with you was really getting to know you, but also the brand a little bit more. And, just to strengthen that connection.
Yeah.
Um, so that was really, really nice. I would say that was probably one of the best experiences is sleeping with the boss.
Oh, we did. We
Because,
had like a very deep conversation where like we were
Mhm.
both, we were both laughing, we were both crying, we were both sharing. Like it was really great. And that's what I love about these smaller shows, because when you have a large team, you don't get to connect in that way. So that was really special for
Yes.
me as well. So thank you.
Yes, the entire thing was a really, really great experience for me, from, the show, to just being there on behalf of Bright, and literally everything down to our send off moment when we said goodbye. Everything was just a great experience, great vibes. That's why I was like, I would do this again. Like, yes, you need me, I'm there.
I love it. Well, we are, girl. We are. When we're going
Uh-huh.
to Latin America, so be ready. Be ready.
Yes,
There's a
yes.
little tidbit of information for you guys out there.
Oh.
Um, what is your advice for someone that wants to be a Bryght Babe? What advice would you give them?
Well, just like the brand, you have to put yourself out there. You have to stand out. You have to, yeah, just don't be shy. I always run into people that are like, um, I just don't feel like I'm that person to put myself out there, or I'm really shy, or one thing or another, like, and it's like, no, I think in this industry, you really have to stand out. You really have to put yourself out there, because as the owner, you are the face, you are the brand. And like you say in your presentation, like you can't go telling people like, we do anal bleach. Would you like to add it on? You have to be like, would you like to add on anal bleaching to your next service? Like, you just have to be confident. You have to put yourself out there, really, more than anything, and just be yourself, but make connections. Those brands that like align with you will just kind of align with you, and
Mm-hmm.
whatever's meant for you will fall in its place. And not anything against like somebody who is shy and all the things, but in reality, like, this is an industry where you really do have to stand out. Like, you
100%.
really do have to put yourself out there. But my advice would just be like, be yourself. Networking is very strong. That's where you really make those connections with people that align with you. I actually met a lot of great people at SugarCon, like I said, because it was like sugaring is my main thing here. It was nice to see a lot of faces that I already knew, but it was nice to just make connections with like new people that I
Yeah.
met, new people that maybe in a future, I could reach out to. Meeting people through you as well, like, that was just
Yeah, that's
a
right.
blessing. That was just a plus, a plus. Like, I think this show really brought me into a full circle moment, because I felt like I was truly next to somebody who uplifts, empowers women, and you know, uh, is not selfish, or is not like a gatekeeper. So it was just really nice to be around that energy. Luba, you were amazing.
Thank you so much. And I'm so excited that, you got to meet someone that I worked with so long ago, that, and I'm not going to give any hints, because I know you're probably working on stuff in the background, but that could truly really change your business, and
Yes,
like in a very
yes.
impactful way. So stay tuned, more to come on that.
Yes, I'm so
The
excited.
the world is small, do not burn your bridges.
No, seriously, big on that. Big on that.
Mm-hmm. Mm,
We could both have a story time, but
yeah, we could. Absolutely. But that's for another day.
yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else. How has Bryght, have I asked this before? How has Bryght changed your business?
So from the moment I attended Bright, it was very empowering. I left with like so much, besides the fact that I wanted to add it into my service, my treatment room. Um, I love everything, like the entire message from Bright. So whenever I brought it on, I was very excited. I was telling my clients about it, and they were just overwhelmed with the information. They're like, "Oh my God, like, that sounds like a great treatment. Let's do it." And so it was a hit. Everybody was getting it done. Everybody tried it at least once, and I have people that have continued to do it just as a maintenance visit. But through Bright, like, I actually just like learned, I got deeper into like ingredients and stuff. And I think that's something that like estheticians really dive into. So
Hmm.
I actually didn't mention, but I'm actually a cosmetologist. So I, can do everything, hair, skin, and nails within the state of Texas. So I think estheticians are a little more into skin and ingredients. So I recently did expand into that and learn all the ingredients and just like dove deep into Bryght and their stuff. And uh, I don't know if you saw, but I just had my daughter's birthday party.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so I did a spa theme. And I didn't tell you and I didn't show you, but I actually did their facials with Bryght products.
Yes.
Yes, because it's just the most natural, the safest. Like I knew it when I went to the show. I'm like, this is exactly because I was already planning it then. I knew that that is what I was going to use. So I did a little step one, step two with the without the light, and then did a little hydro jelly mask and step four. And
How
they were
cute.
so excited, so happy. So I mean, Bryght has just really became like a big part. Also, one of my cousins last year was undergoing chemo. I gifted him strength and courage, for the skin issues that were gonna come with it, and he's good now. He's strong and healthy again, and so yes, I feel like I've just used Bryght. I actually had a really bad sunburn
Oh
when
yeah,
I showed
girl. Shame, shame.
when I showed up to Ohio, and I was using step four though. I was using step four, and I had my girls doing the blue light before I left. And so whenever I showed up, you're like, you need to be using strength. And I was
Hmm.
like, oh my God, like I just went straight for step four because I guess since I used the professional treatment,
Yeah,
like I
for
was
sure.
more focused on that. So I did dive deeper into the retail this show. Um, and I'm grateful for that because I have been suggesting all of the products to my clients. We've been having more sales for my Bryght products
Love
for
that.
sure.
Love that.
But yeah, strength just kind of also was like my little message, like that bottle you had. I kept looking at it and I'm like, strength. I love the messaging in your packaging. Like
Thank you.
I definitely needed strength in my life, and I just it relieved my sunburn immediately, and and yeah, I continued to use it. So I feel like it also helped the sunburn just heal really quick. Within a week it was like healed again.
Yeah, Martha's mom put it on. She had a sunburn when I was in Vegas, and it brought down the redness in like an hour. It was like the redness was gone. We have it on
Yeah,
our page, the before and after. It's magic in a bottle, that stuff. Like
seriously.
it's so underrated. It's so underrated.
Yeah,
But
seriously.
and would you say that Bright has impacted your business financially in a positive way?
Yes, of course. Like I said, as soon as I introduced it, um, everybody was booking it. They were booking it. So to me, the easiest way that I describe it is like it's just a new stream of income. Like I have came across people, that they're interested in it, and I tell them, and they're worried about like the timing, but in reality, to me, the math makes sense because it's 10 to 15 minutes, and you can earn $99 is the minimum that Bryght recommends that they charge, and that's just an additional 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So if you can literally double up on your service price, or even just add on, that service, like you're winning. You're
Yeah,
winning. So we had a really,
absolutely.
really great show deal. I was trying to like express to people without like literally being like, look, girl, this is the best price ever. But in reality, it was like I didn't buy my kit for that price. I
Hmm.
invested a little bit more, and
A lot more, girl. I
yeah,
lost
no,
my mind.
seriously.
I've lost
Yeah.
my mind this year. I'm trying new things. It's been a crazy world all around with everything that's happening, and business owners are having a very tough time. So we're trying something new to
Mhm.
help you guys.
Yes, seriously. So it's like a new stream of income,
Perfect.
It's people get like people book just for the Bryght treatment. So yeah, like
I love it.
it's an income.
Well, it was amazing working with you, and I can't wait for the next show, which I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's going to be a fun one and one that we haven't done before. I think you probably know before me, but or maybe I know before you. I don't know, but we were talking about you the other day, so stay tuned. If you
Yay.
guys want to follow Delia, she is on Instagram at Sugar Loft Dallas. Do you have any other socials you want to?
Yeah, so that's my business. And I also have my like personal sugaring one. It's Delia Sugars at DeliaSugars. Delia Sugars.
Perfect. And if you guys are interested in taking any sugaring courses, she actually teaches them in Dallas and has her own place that she teaches out of. And soon she'll be doing Bryght training in person and online. So stay tuned for that. Thanks again for sleeping with the boss, for being my roomie, and for doing this podcast with me.
Yes, thank you so much for the opportunity, Luba.
If you guys are interested in becoming a Bryght Babe, if you're interested, please send your resumes to careers@brightonup.com. Don't get freaked out if we don't respond right away. We literally get hundreds of applications all the time. So be patient. Look how long it took her, right?
Yes.
Be patient. When the time is right, the universe lines everything up just in divine timing. Thanks for joining us, and until next week.